Hi Sonoma County, it's Monday evening over here in Brussels, October 5th. So I made it to Brussels from DC and I'm still recovering from jet lag to be quite honest, but I'm off to a great start here in Brussels. So spent Saturday sort of doing a walking tour of the city and just kind of getting a better understanding of what all the organizations that are based here. Brussels really is a hub for a lot of the economic development, EU policy making groups. And then yesterday I had the opportunity to go to Ypres, which is really kind of the center battlefield for World War I. And what's interesting there is you drive through what is just bucolic farmland, essentially, small village, small town, and just really everywhere you turn there are cemeteries with a lot of them recognizing soldiers who lost their lives, whether it was from Germany on one side of the World War or England and the U.S. and Canada, etc. on the other side. And so I heard an interesting story. They say farmers every year, and their main crop is potatoes for food, and they grow some corn for feed, but that farmers every year end up in the process of tilling, finding still ammunition. I mean, grenades that didn't go off, shells, and they find this ammunition, and they also find still and uncover some soldier remains, and it just amazing to sort of hear that kind of story, and extremely sad. So made me thankful that when we're harvesting in Sonoma County and tilling our soil, that we're not having to sort of deal with the ramifications of what have been multiple wars fought on our soil. So it made me feel very fortunate both to be living in the U.S. and to be farming in Sonoma County. But on a brighter note, an exciting day today. I'm just ending a day full of meetings. Spent most of the day at NATO Headquarters, and I think there's just such a common theme that has been running already through the fellowship, and it's around how do you get consensus. So I'm sure, as most of you know, NATO has 28 member countries, and it's a consensus organization, so meaning in order for it to take any sort of political military action, which is its goal, is to be political first, a military sort of response organization. It has to have all 28 members, I should say, not necessarily in agreement, but not in disagreement. So how the vote was explained is that there would be the discussion, and then essentially there'd be sort of a call for, we're going to move forward with this unless we hear a disagreement. And without hearing any conversation, or any disagreements, the sort of decision would pass. And so one of the things that was interesting about how these things happen, how the ambassadors work together, was that all these folks, whether it's staff or the ambassadors or teams, all are sitting under one roof. So they all come into Brussels, they're in the NATO headquarters, and they're able to have those not just formal conversations through conference or meeting, but actually meeting for coffee, spending time in each other's offices and having those sidebar conversations, and how effective that is in getting 28 different countries to come to agreement on some sort of action when that's possible. And I think, it just made me think a little bit about the trio with Sonoma County Tourism and Sonoma County Vintners and Sonoma County Wine Growers, and how we continue to be under the same roof in the same office space. And I know we're not making the same strategic decisions as we would be in a political military situation, but certainly when we look at how we do the best thing for Sonoma County as a community and as a wine industry and as a tourism destination, it is really nice to know that we're following some of the best principles done by these organizations that are really global organizations. And so that was exciting for me to see. And then this afternoon had a chance to hear from a speaker that really deals with racism throughout Europe, and spent a lot of time talking about the migration issue, the refugees from Syria, and what that looks like. And it's interesting because they said one of the common principles that all of the organizations in the EU agreed to is that integration is a two-way street. It's a two-way process, and so there's an expectation on both the migrant as well as on the community to accept that. And I think that's interesting as we think about how we assimilate different communities within our own community of Sonoma County. So learning continues. It's been pretty exciting. I'm actually headed off to a dinner in a few minutes with a person that really focuses on economic policy for the EU. So more learning to come. So signing off for now. Hope you're all doing well back home. It's a little chilly over here, but fall is definitely upon us here. So Ciao for now. Bye.